Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jeff. I want to know if we have any power in the room. Can I have a shout out from Guildford Borough Council? Excellent, very good. I think that deserves a round of applause for starting off. The Sport and Recreation Alliance. UK Active. Women in Sport. Women in Sport. Creative Sport and Leisure? Excellent. Well, I'll come on to why I was doing that in a moment. But thank you very much. My name's Carl Benfield, and I'm here to talk to you about energy. All being well. We have a game plan, and what's going to happen is when you see the word or hear the word win, wrong. Yeah, when you see the word win, I want you to go, ooh, win. Very good. Now keep it up and don't slack. But first, we're going to do some physics. And this is not the time to do that. Energy and power. This is why we started off the talk about power. Most of you won't know the difference between the two, and I'm not going to ask because every time I do, even with engineering audiences, they get it wrong. Power is what is in this room right now. Everyone stand up, please. Oh, the relief. Oh, well done, panel. Excellent. You have now exerted energy in standing up. Please sit down again. Power is what is there, and energy is when you use that power through a certain distance or over a certain time. And that is why energy is in kilowatt hours, that's what you see on your energy bill, and power is in kilowatts. And that is the amount of heat or electricity in kilowatt hours, or the size of your boiler or generation plant in kilowatts. So your boiler might be 50 kilowatts or 200 kilowatts. It's done nothing until you switch it on. That's all I want to say about that. You'll be glad to know. Unlike politicians, as we try to put policy into practice, energy cannot be created or destroyed, which is the first law of thermodynamics. But the bad news about that is that it's here to stay, along with your energy bill. So whatever the politicians do, whatever happens with the climate change agreement in Paris, it's going to be there. So I'm going to give you a tip from the future, and we are prescient power, prescient meaning foreknowledge. So pin your ears back, you'll love it. Rock music versus US oil production has a marked correlation. Therefore, if you want to know the future price of oil, look at the Rolling Stone 500 greatest songs of all time and see if there are any more in the charts, because oil price will go up. I said that was going to be useful. Let's move on with our game. Very good. Better down here than up there, but good. Firstly, then, for energy, the first win is reduce your costs both now and in the future. Now, reducing energy costs is mind-numbingly boring work for most people. We look at half-hourly data from electricity companies and other such things and pore over the numbers, and isn't that great? It's far more interesting. We were talking about numbers earlier on. Far more interesting for me than those numbers, but for most people, maybe not. We look at those numbers and we say, well, how can we change that energy consumption? And we look at lots of different pieces of kit, most of which you've probably never seen before. We then do something called Energy Coach, which is to look at the power you've used and try and reduce it, sometimes by operational changes, sometimes by technological changes. And it's an ongoing process, but the point you can see is that you're using less and less energy. And here, at weekends, you're almost using no energy at all, in this particular case. But it's important to have granularity of information. Does anyone know what that is? No. Thank you. Does anyone know what that is? The difference is granularity. And if you have no granular data, if you just have no information on your energy, you'll get a blur of it. You won't understand what's going on. What we try and provide is something that is a lot more granular and meaningful. And you can do this with some of your energy bills that you have already within your organizations. There's also clever things like the UK heat map. So here is a sports centre that is consuming quite a lot of energy compared with all the houses around it. So, and I'll come on to why that's important in a moment. So energy costs, and this is not just if you're running a sports centre or if you're in public sector running a number of sports centres or a chain of things or an organisation that's involved with sport generally. Energy costs are going to rise, even despite the US ROC chart, okay? And what you're trying to do is, this is a 6% annual rise of energy costs, and this is a 3% rise in energy costs, and the difference being made up for saving in energy on an ongoing basis. And that is your gain. So whatever your organisation, whether you be a charity or a private sector organisation or a sports club, if you can save energy, you will become more competitive in the future, and you'll be able to employ more staff because you have the money because you've made those gains. Win number 2. Still much better down here. I want to hear it from up there. Go. No, we haven't got there yet. I've just gone back a slide. Much better, thank you. Generate your own energy. Generating your own energy is far cooler than it used to be, and those of us particular age will recognise that. Who can tell me what it is? Dynamo on a bike. Okay, awful things and really inefficient, but it's now much cooler than that because we have cool things like, for instance, solar panels. And you can put them on flat roofs, and you can put them on pitch roofs, and they just sit up there. And each one of these solar panels will produce about as much energy as your bloke on a bike or lady on a bike with the dynamo. So that's quite a lot of energy you can get on one building. And it just sits there on the roof, minding its own business. And so this is what the kind of thing we look at. We see that here is our consumption for energy within a particular building, and this is what we generate, in this case, from solar power. Wind power would be different, hydroelectricity would be different again. I'm just using an example here. So we can see that we can actually generate quite a lot of energy that we need. And if we look at that on a day-by-day basis, the red is what the consumption is on a day-by-day basis, the green is what we actually generate, and the blue is what we consume ourselves. And the reason they're not perfectly matched is because energy is a very, very dynamic thing. But the point is, you can save money because you're not bringing it in from the grid. And you're also making money because the government incentivizes this and gives you money. Government gives you money still. Isn't that wonderful? So just have a quick look at finance, but this isn't all about finance. You can fund these projects by yourself if you have lots of money in your pocket. Most people don't. You can borrow it from local government, from the banks, wherever. You can do a hire purchase or loan. You can have a power purchase agreement or energy agreement where you buy in the energy from someone else, and that means the system is free. And you're already saving money at no cost to you. And the last one I absolutely love, community energy funder, community funded. I just look at this I've tried to sort of amalgamate some case studies together for this presentation because there's so much to cover. But if you were to self-fund it or to borrow the money, whatever you spend, if it be £10,000 or £100,000 or £1 million, divide it by 5, and that's what you're going to make a year. So £100,000, you'll make about £20,000 a year. It pays for itself in 5 years, and it's a 20-year scheme. So you're better off to the tune of £20,000 a year, index linked. That's another person or another 2 people part-time. Really, really important for your organisations. If you do a hire purchase scheme, it can be cash flow neutral. So you've not spent any money, someone else has spent it, and the savings this gives you, again, stops you spending money on energy. And after that's paid for itself, again, you're making the same kind of numbers again. if you were to get someone else to put the system on and sell you the energy, they would sell it you, the heat or the electricity, for less than you're currently paying in the open market. So immediately, without any money at all and no efforts, you are saving maybe 10, sometimes 20% of your energy costs by allowing this stuff to happen. But again, it's not just about money. Finally, the community energy is where you have a community energy company, and I'll come on to this in a moment in more detail. This is a godsend for you. It's absolutely right where your rubber hits the road, if I can use that expression. So, for example, heat energy. This is a biomass boiler, but you could use different kinds of heat from heat pumps or from solar thermal power, something like that. And this is taking waste from a stable and burning it. So we're not having to stick stuff in landfill or have it sat around doing nothing. It's burning, it's generating heat, and you're distributing it in pipes in the ground to other buildings. It's an incredible investment, an incredible payback, and generates a lot of money and income and saving for that organization. Engagement. Very good. You're being very well behaved this afternoon. Thank you. Engagement is probably your number one problem. Certainly is mine in my company. Trying to engage with people, trying to connect with them is hugely difficult. And that's why we spend millions of pounds on marketing and Google AdWords and brochures and everything else. And it's hugely expensive. And we do it by numbers. But your people in your organizations, your clients, if you're in a leisure environment, are not numbers. They don't want to be treated as a number. They want to be loved by you, and they want to connect with you. I have to say that St Andrews University have been particularly good. I searched for community and sport on the internet, and there wasn't very much out there. So there's huge opportunity here. And St Andrews University have got a whole plan about how they're engaging with people, not just sending them flyers. So are you authentic? Are you genuinely trying to connect with your people, or are you just going through the motions? Because connection is tangible. These guys here have invested in this case, a solar array on a rooftop. That's a community who now owns a part of somebody else's property. The connection there is fantastic. You are much better down here, sorry. Okay, very good. Finally, the environment. This is a little chart, because I'm sad I drew this up. This is deaths under the age of 75 years old in 2015. Lots of them are from cancer and circulatory systems and so on. But you see there, 16,600 deaths from respiratory diseases and 4,000 from pneumonia, 8,000 from bronchitis. That's a real problem. And if you check out the BBC, 40,000 deaths annually are linked to UK air pollution. If you haven't got an interest in that and you're not trying to do something about it, are you, as a sports organisation, credible? So, finally, we score a goal because we save energy and make money. We make energy and we make money. We engage in your community, and I say this is absolutely where you guys should be sitting. Engaging in your community around energy, it's an easy win because they will make money too. And you will make friends. Some of you need more friends than others. And you'll get members in your organizations. You'll get people wanting to join you, and you'll get people wanting to stay with you rather than you go begging cap in hand every year for their subscription fees again. They will say, this is an organization that's dynamic and isn't just trying to sell me insurance or accountancy services or holidays. Sorry if you're in insurance and accountancy and holidays, but you know. And you'll also create a healthy environment. And that, after all, is really what we're all here for. So what next? There are some more detailed case studies on our website. This presentation is also on our website if you want to go through it in slow time, because it was a bit of a gallop through. And come and have a chat. We're here. We're also online, and we don't do high-pressure salesy stuff. I'm genuinely excited and interested to be helping organisations understand what they can do. And if that's nothing, I'll tell you, because I don't want to spend 3 months, 6 months of my life chasing after you when it's there's no point at all. Okay? So come and have a chat. Thanks very much.